All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this is a video that um, was inspired by another video I was watching that was done by the elder apostle Ramlab. And I got a few minutes into the video. Lord's will, I'll finish it, but he mentioned something at the beginning, and the video was called "Keep Thinking These Devils Are Playing with You," and he mentioned this what I use as a title: anyone that don't comply, they must die. All right, which Lord's will, I'm going to go through a nice brief lesson dealing with that and the balance of it. Okay, because um, when dealing with this NWO, all right, or the fullness of the image of this beast and this system that they're coming with, as we're going to start with in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. This is the mindset and the spirit that they are coming in, all right, which is expect no mercy. And so anybody that is not in agreement or that is contrary to their part, to what they're trying to institute and implement, they will be sought out and eliminated. And it's the same way that in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to have room or tolerance for those that go off and break the laws of the Lord. So what they're trying to do is institute the kingdom of hell, right, or their kingdom here on earth, like how we would have our kingdom. All right, because in the kingdom, I mean, ultimately, when you look at it, Esau is that virus, and so it's interesting how in our kingdom, after 1,000 years, the Edomites are going to be exterminated, but here it is in their kingdom, they want to exterminate pretty much us. All right, but for the most part, they really want to come after the Israelites. All right, that are a part of the elect, because those are the ones who, under no circumstance, are they going to break or fold or conform to the ways of this NWO. All right. So I'm going to start here with the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 14th verse, just hitting the point. It says, "And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles." Now, the he that is referring to here is Esau, Edom, but more specifically the elites, because the average Edomite going, walking down the street, even up to Joe Biden and these politicians and legislators and so on, they are also following a script that has been passed down to them, right? And that you got to look at the author or the writers of those instructions and those scripts. They are the real ones that are pushing this, that are behind it all. So when you see, like in Revelation 13, and you see he and he and he, for the most part, is dealing with the elites, because they are the one at the pinnacle of it and pushing it forward. So it says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which they had power to do in the sight of the beast." So by using their miracles, which their miracles now pertains to their technology, because they're able to use technology to achieve things that are not otherwise possible, all right, to the normal mind, because things that would usually happen by way of divine intervention, they are trying to achieve that using technology, and by doing so, they're swaying the minds of the people to be on their side, to go in the direction of the new techno world and serve and bow down to these techno gods as they want to be, because they know their only shot at actually playing God with their severe God complex that they have is through their technology. So it says, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which is that system. All right, that now it's headed straight into that NWO. It says, which had a wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15, and he had power. See, once again, he had power to give life onto the image of the beast. So what does it mean by giving life onto the image of the beast? Well, in essence, it's taking that system, that those plans and those ideas, and bringing it into life, meaning enacting it and making it reality. So taking a agenda and then turning it into something like the new normal. So now it becomes implemented in real life, and people in their everyday to day lives are experiencing and living out these plans and this agenda. So they have power to do that, and one of the main ways they do that is through different crises. They'll have a certain event take place, and through that event, they will sway or push, whether covertly or overtly, the world in one direction that they want it to go in. And that's why the latter part of verse 15 is very important to them, because as they're trying to sway the world in one direction, they can't have outliers like us getting people to go in the other direction or getting people to slow down. So it says here, and verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you notice here saying that the image should both speak and cause, because the NWO, once it's instituted to some extent, a part of the laws and regulations and rules in the NWO would be to eliminate or to get rid of those that are not down with that system. Okay. Today, on a low, like on a surface example, you have things like cancel culture, and things where for people that are not down with the direction of the new norm, you are looked at as a conspiracy theorist, or or extremist, or this, that, and the third. But in that time, it's going to go beyond name calling or being demonized in the media, and is actually going to go to the point of losing blood and losing your life, and being threatened to the point where you might have to flee. As we read in the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, it mentions being as pilgrims upon the earth, because you never know when you're going to have to relocate from one place to another in a short moment's notice. Okay. And it says here that anyone that would not, or that cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that is their mind, that is their MO, that is their agenda. All right. If you're not down with it, they're coming for you and they want to eliminate you. Now, right now, it still sounds like, whoa, that's kind of harsh. But after the next series of events that take place, they're gonna be so drastic, so devastating, that they're gonna have enough justification to have certain laws in place to where they can actually eliminate certain people. And we know how they move. They first paint you in a black light, and then they make it okay to take you out. Okay. See, if you take an individual, right? If there's a story where you have maybe like a cop shoots an individual, you hear that, oh, he shot this man. Oh, damn, that's crazy. He just shot him in cold blood. Now, if they spin that story a little bit and throw it back at you and say, the cop shot this man, but the man was really a serial killer who had a track record of killing all these babies and innocent, yada yada yada, and he was actually on his way to go commit another crime, and he had a knife on him, and he was going to really attack the cop. See, all of a sudden, then the cop shooting the man doesn't seem like he just shot him in cold blood. It seems like, oh yeah, it's a good job that he eliminated such filth from the world. So then it makes it okay to eliminate the dude, right? Um, so we know that that is a part of their agenda. Um, it's not just pushing out this charagma, but a part of it is as they do that, they need to get rid of people who are not, with it. Okay, who are not trying to comply and bow down to the system, as they said here. So next, let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and jump down to the 17th verse. It says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman," and we know that the dragon is dealing with Esau, but based on whatever verse you're reading, you gotta know, okay, well, Esau, but Esau who, right? Because we know there's sometimes when you read in the scriptures, it may be referring to Esau, but in a specific time period. Okay, but we know here that ultimately the dragon here is Esau, and the woman represents Israel. So it says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua Hamashiach." So that would be us. We are the remnant, low will and row of the elect, but we are that remnant left that are still doing our best to follow the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and we have the testimony of Yahushua. We have this doctrine, we have the spirit of prophecy, and we have the truth. So they're angry at that. And when you really go to the core of it, yeah, these average Edomites are like, they're also messed up about it, but it's more so the elites because they actually understand what it means for us to call ourselves Israelites. They actually know the dangers to their system of us waking up and the prophets coming on the scene and prophesying. So that's why an average Edomite could walk past and think everything is all regular. Oh yeah, whatever, just a bunch of niggas on the street. But the elites of the Edomites, they don't just disregard it like that. This troubles them greatly because they know the severity of what is actually going on. So they're very angry and they want to eliminate us, believe it or not. So the next precept is the book of Second, because now here's the balance, because their agenda, you see, Revelation 13 is telling you what they plan to do. What do they, what's their agenda? And their agenda is to eliminate anybody that will not bow down or follow or worship the image, the system. But they're not going to succeed in that agenda because there will be people that don't bow down and don't take the charagma and don't worship the system. All right, they bow down to the image, that are not going to be killed because the Lord is going to protect them, Lowell and us, and defend us. And that's why I'm getting this precept here. And usually we start up a couple verses, but I just want to hit the point here in Second Ezra chapter 16, starting at verse 73. It says here, yeah, that's right. Spiritual power also comes with being an Israelite. Yep. So it says here, then shall they be known who are my chosen. Second Ezra 16 and 73. And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, because right now we know what the ballpark where the elect will be found. We know where that is. But in that time, the Lord is gonna narrow it down even more through the different events that are going on, but through how certain individuals handle those events. Because right now there's a pool of individuals, men, women, and children that know or believe or consider themselves to be Israelites. And a lot of us, right? We consider ourselves to be the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, but you have other men who also say that they are the prophets of the Lord. So there's still a pool of all of us in here. But then in that time, when you are actually faced with the hour of temptation, or you're put in a predicament of being persecuted or whatever situation you face, that's when it's going to be known who are truly the men of the Lord. That's when all those that don't have that spirit, they're not going to make it. Now, whether it's going to be by the Lord bestowing spiritual power on an individual, or something like an individual standing firm and losing their life for the faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Either way, it's going to be clear that that individual, that he has to be a part of the elect, or she has to be a part of the elect. Okay? As opposed to another individual that may have been saying, oh yeah, I believe in doing this, but when the time comes, based on what happens to them or what actions they take when they're in certain conditions, it will be known, yeah, he wasn't of the elect after all. And one main thing is the charagma, the hour of temptation. Anybody that takes the charagma is not a part of the elect. That's the end of the story. There is no workaround. There is no going around it. There is no what if it happens to me by accident. The Most High has set it up to where it's not going to be something that happens to you by accident. If it happens to you and they put that inside you and the Most High allowed that, then you were not a part of his elect. Because if you are, pursuant to Revelation 3 and 10, you will be kept. And under no circumstances will you take the charagma or the MOTB. So that then opens the door of the question, or that then begs the question, well, if they're going to be famines and they're going to have food rations and they're going to set this up and they're going to set that up and they're going to come and try to kill those that don't take the charagma, those that don't bow down to the system. They're going to say that if you're not part of this system, you're not going to be fed. They're going to say that if you are in an area that's dangerous and you want to be a part of those getting evacuated, but you're not tagged, we're not taking you. You want to come to this shelter, we're not taking you in. So then now you start thinking, okay, well, if that's the case, and I'm saying I'm not going to take it, how am I going to eat? Wouldn't I starve to death? Well, that's how you know that there's going to be divine intervention. Because we know that at the end of it all, pursuant to Revelation 15 and 2, you're going to have a remnant that are going to have overcome the beast by not taking the charagma and not worshiping his image and staying faithful to the Lord. And they're going to be alive. They're going to be alive and well. You're going to have some that are going to be martyred, but you're also going to have a giant majority that are going to be alive and well. So how would you go if it's 3 months, if it's 6 months? How would you go 6 months, 3 months without eating or without following the requirements they push out to you, telling you that you have to do this if you want to eat? The Lord says he's going to keep us. So that means that what? In the times of famine, the Lord is going to feed us. He's going to give us another option. We're not going to need to comply with this devil in order to survive. The Lord will give us another option. And the Lord's option is always greater than man's option. So when he says he's going to keep us, that's solid. That's more solid than any security, any deal, any word anybody could give you. So verse 2 Ezra 16 and 74, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. So who are the Lord's beloved? His elect. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So do you believe the words of the Lord? If you do, then you have nothing to worry about if you're doing the right thing. Okay? Because the Lord said, I know the days of trouble are at hand. I know there are going to be famines. I know there are going to be diseases and pestilence. I know it's going to be scary. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a time that you've never seen before. I know that. But in those very times, those very days, I'm going to deliver you from that same trouble, from the famines, from the pestilence, from all of it. You could be walking in the midst of the most craziest, contagious, deadly pathogen out there and still be fine without a gas mask, without a face shield, without any of that. Because if you catch a strain or something and you die from it, that's judgment from the Lord. But if the Lord says, no, you're not going to die, then guess what? If they could throw 3 men into a flaming hot burning furnace, and those men could come out without even the smell of smoke on them, come on. All right. This is why these things are written. So verse 75, it says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. These words are powerful because the Lord is telling you, look, you don't act like I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. All right. I can see, trust me, I designed all of this. So yeah, I know exactly what's going on. As a matter of fact, I know more of what's going on than you do. And I'm telling you that I'm going to deliver you in that time. So don't even be afraid. Don't doubt. We tend to, of course, we're in the flesh. So there's times where you tend to worry about certain things. But it's not like what you're worried about is something the Most High doesn't know about and he's not sure how to go about it. He sets everything up. Okay, so you don't need to fear or worry about anything, whether it's your family or your kids, or damn, what happens if I'm at work and I'm not close to my loved ones, and what about, you don't got to worry about that. The Lord will guide and protect and take care. Before you met your loved ones, they were living life without you, okay? And guess what? They were still taken care of. So, I mean, hey, the Lord said he got us, man. Verse 76. Now, actually, since I'm reading that, let me go ahead and look up here the definition of guide. So the word guide you have here, a person who advises or shows the way to others, an escort, an attendant. It says to show or indicate the way to someone, direct or have an influence on the course of action of someone or something. So the Most High is going to steer us or influence our course of action in that time. So that's why you may be in a certain situation, not knowing what to do, but you don't have to worry because the Most High is going to guide you. He's going to steer you where to go. So that's why in the time when the hour of temptation is put out here, the Lord is going to guide us. Okay. People like to say, Jesus, take the wheel, but really the Most High is going to take the wheel and lead you where you have to go, led of the Spirit. So 2nd Ezra 16 and 76, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. That is why in Revelation 3 and 10 it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee in the hour of temptation. So the Lord said here, don't doubt, don't be afraid. I'm going to be your guide and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. All right. So long as you are serving the Lord wholeheartedly, the best way you can, you'll know if you're going off or not. Because the Lord he gave every one of us a conscience. And the Lord throws warning shots. All right. And he puts it in your mind. When you go off, or you're about to do something that there's going to be consequences for, or you're not doing something and that there's going to be consequences for that, the spirit directs you. You get that thought into your mind that lets you know you need to either get on your shit or you need to be very careful because you've been bugging out lately. You got to bug out a little bit. But you've been bugging out lately, right? So you got to really watch yourself. As Paul said, examine yourself, right? Whether you be in the faith. Okay, so let's see the next precept here. Once again, going into how the guidance of the Most High. Now, this is an account in the book of Genesis dealing with Jacob. Okay, and I'm going to go straight to the point. This is Genesis chapter 35. Now, in the 34th chapter, upon Jacob's return from Laban, as he came with his sons and so on and so forth, they eventually temporarily settled at Shechem. And they had bought a field around there. Jacob had bought a parcel of a field from the Hivites, and that's where you have the story of Dinah, where she gets raped by Shechem, the son of Hamor, and they were Hivites. Okay, so then they come to beseech or come to ask for Dinah as a daughter because he raped her. So he came, he's like, he really loved her and he wants her and so on. Of course, the brothers weren't having it. But as the scriptures say, they dealt with Hamor and his son deceitfully, and they told him to circumcise all the men, all right, for all the men of the city to be circumcised. Now, when you read it, you find out that it was all planned because they never really had, especially Simeon and Levi, they never really had the intention of giving Dinah to this to Hamor or his son. But they said that because it says that on the third day, while the men were healing, right, while they were resting and they were healing, because when you get circumcised, that takes days to heal. So they wouldn't be in the condition to fight or to go to battle. And so Simeon and Levi took advantage of that and went and slew all the men of the city, which also goes to show you that back then they weren't, sons of Jacob, they weren't no joke. You could take out all the men in the whole city. Shit. Anyway, they slew all of them, took the women and the children captive. Now, when they came, the point is, when Jacob found out, he was grieved. And he told them, look, what you guys did right there is gonna, he was afraid that it will come back and bite them in the ass, because he said, look, we're surrounded by Canaanites. So you done all this to one of them, word is gonna spread. And eventually they're gonna come after us and try to kill us, because we're technically strangers here. So we're in the midst of, quote unquote, you could say, people that can be very well enemies. All right. So that's what Jacob told them, in fear that the Canaanites would come and kill them. So now the point is, in Genesis 35:1, what did the Most High do about that? So Genesis 35:1, it says, and the Most High, or in the power, said unto Jacob, arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, which Bethel in the Hebrew is a house of God. All right, Bayath Allah. So it says, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto the power that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Because I believe that was the same area where Jacob had that dream, and he saw the ladder where you had angels ascending and descending it, and the Most High basically revealed himself to him. It says, then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And you have to remember, because at that time, this is the time when the Most High is making himself known, okay, to Jacob. Because at this point, Jacob has heard of the Most High, but you would notice he refers to him as the God of my fathers. So now the Most High, is making himself known to Jacob. So, and also Jacob's wives being over there in Padan Aram, over there in Haran, they weren't worshiping Yahweh. Okay, they weren't worshiping Yahweh. They had their own gods as well. As you read, Rachel stole basically the family idol, right, from Laban. So they weren't familiar. They weren't worshiping Yahweh. But it wasn't until the Lord, came to them, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then that's why he solidified his promise with those three, and then the children of Israel on throughout. Okay, but it says here, so he tells them, put away your gods, verse 3, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto the power, who answered me in the day of my distress. So now, once again, Jacob he's knowing the Lord, but he's saying, okay, well, when he first was fleeing from Esau, and the Lord showed himself to him through that dream, he said, all right, well, this power of my fathers, who has revealed himself to me, if you protect me on my journey over there to my uncle's place and bring me back safely, then you're going to be my God. All right. So, and that's what the Most High did. He did protect Jacob. Okay. And brought him back safely, even when Laban wanted to hurt Jacob. And so now he said, all right, well, I mean, that is what you said. So now go back to Bethel and go up there and go do what you got to do. Do what's right. So verse 3 says, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto the power, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and now here's the part, verse 5. And they journeyed, and the terror of God, okay, the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. See, because this is what Jacob was warning, was basically getting at Levi and Simeon, saying, because of what you did, those cities round about are going to hear about it, and they're going to come after us. But going to show you that when the Most High is with you, he's with you. So the terror of the Most High was upon those cities in whatever form he manifested it in, so much so that they didn't even pursue them. All right, they didn't even come after them because they heard about what happened, but the fear was so much I can't touch them. The same way when Abraham went to Egypt, the Mosai showed himself to that Pharaoh and said, you a dead man, bro. You better not, you better not touch Abraham's I believe it was either in Egypt or in the king of Gaza, if I'm not mistaken, or Gerar. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Abimelech. Anyway, the Most High came to him and made sure that Abraham's wife Sarah wasn't touched. Okay, and amongst different situations, the Most High would always look out for whoever it was that he was dealing with. So we have to remember these accounts and also have that faith that the Most High will do the same for us if we continue to do the things that are pleasing unto Him. Okay, which when you go into that, it says the terror of God. Let's see. What do we have here for the word terror? All right, so it says here for the word terror. All right, so it says terror, fear. The Hebrew is here chatha, and it says here fear. All right, so the Most High put that fear. So see, in this time, you're gonna have it to where the Most High, the Most High could have angels, around you. He could have a force field around you, whatever it is, to where no evil is gonna be able to harm. All right, the Lord's chosen. Okay, or come and affect the Lord's chosen. Okay, so let's see. The next precept is let's go now to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. All right, and let's go down to see right here. All right, and let's see. For dub Jiz, the new moon Sabbath that came in this week was from Thursday sundown to Friday sundown. And this is, I mean, to find out when the new Sabbath comes in, we know it goes by the new moon. So you can just look up, whenever the new moon comes in for that month, and then just on that day, the sundown of that day when it comes in to the sundown of the next day is going to be the Sabbath. And then every week on that day. So if it comes in on Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown, then every Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown up until the next new moon comes in. All right. You can also subscribe, to because brothers post it up on YouTube when the new moon comes in. Okay, which is good, but you don't want to be too reliant on that. You want to be able to also tell when it comes in for yourself in the case you don't have access to finding it here. But I know a brother that always posted is GMS Quanawath Ha. All right. And also I know Elder Apostle Ramlab also posted on the channel as well. So just staying up to date on that. Because remember, of course, we are rehearsing the righteous acts, but the things that we can do and the things that are in our power to do, we have to do it to the best of our ability. That includes doing your best to stay on top of the Sabbath, knowing when it comes in and so on and so forth. All right. But let's go back to the lesson. So Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 15. All right. So it says here, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 15. It says, but the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. You hear that? So the righteous, which are those that are of the elect, and the elect are going to be doing pretty much what we are doing now. Okay? So if we continue to do those things, then our care is with the Most High. And there's none that could care more for you than the Most High can. Okay? Verse 16, therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. And what actually the elect, okay, the 144,000 are actually going to receive, really all of us are going to be kings. Okay, but they're going to receive crowns upon their heads from Yahweh's hand. This is in the book of Second Esdras, the second chapter from the 40th verse on down. And we are literally at the end, all right, of all of this. So that time of that coronation, that time of that glory, the time of the new bodies and the change and the kingdom, it's literally closer than we've ever been. Think about it. The Lord promised Abraham, certain things. He promised Isaac and Jacob and all these promises that was told them, right? And look how far, thousands of years ago, that they were. Even up until the time of the disciples, look how far they were from the kingdom. How eager they were, but yet how long they had to wait. And now you fast forward to us, where we're not talking about the next 100 years, the next 50 years, the next 10 years, the next 5 years, the next 3 years. Okay? From the way things are going, I'm not going to put a date on it, but we're talking about very, very soon. You see? So knowing that, you don't have to wait 10,000 years. You don't got to wait 2 years. I mean, 10, 5. You don't got to wait whatever. We just know that it's very close. That should have that fire lit in you. Sometimes you got to just meditate on, okay, we know it's close, but that is close, what is that it? And when you start to meditate, you're like, man, the Lord is really about to change this whole place. And it's that close. The second this MOTB comes out, the next thing we're looking for is the mandatory implication of it, or implementation of it, and then the destruction. And along with that destruction comes Yahushua. Okay, along with that destruction comes Yahushua, because if Yahushua doesn't come during that destruction, we ain't gonna make it. So when those missiles start flying, Yahushua got to be here to deliver his elect, so they don't get roasted. But that's how close we are. So meaning that you don't want to even make the slightest mistake that can jeopardize your standing with the Lord, especially not now. Right, so verse 16 again, therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. And I don't know about you, but I want that crown. All right. I mean, just imagine, damn, you know what I'm saying? Imagine actually having a actual real, we're not talking about no fake crown, no movie scene prop. No, we're talking about an actual real crown. I mean, just Lord have mercy. Right. So it says, for with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. Okay. And when you read in the scriptures, sometimes the Yahushua is referred to as the right hand of the Lord, because ultimately he's going to come back, and the Lord is going to send Yahushua back to deliver us. So as these evils approach, once again, their agenda is to kill those that are not down with the system. But if you are doing what the Lord requires of you, then fear not, because the Lord is going to turn the tables on them. When they come in with their weapons and their whatever they come in with to try and touch us, the Lord is not going to have that. Okay. Now, not saying that if you end up in a concentration camp, all of a sudden you're not of the elect. No, because the Lord might say, I want you there to deliver somebody else, or I want you there to be a testimony onto me, or whatever. Okay, but you got to trust whatever the Lord does to you is really for your best. It's in your best interest, and you got to trust that. So let's finish it off in the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 19. All right, this is Job chapter 5, verse 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Now, we usually bring this out, and we'll mention how pretty much whatever situation we're in, the Lord will deliver us. But really, when you go into it, that 6 and 7 is going into the 7th is when the missiles hit. So in the 7th there shall no evil touch thee, because in between that 6th and 7th, when you deal in the book of Revelation, the 6th trumpet and the 7th trumpet, the 7th angel sounded, and there was that destruction. Before that 7th trumpet or that 7th angel sounds for that destruction to hit, we're going to be delivered, those of us that are of the elect, out of here. Okay, in the twinkling of an eye. And as the scriptures talk about, the righteous shall scarcely make it, because it's gonna be like it's gonna feel like a very close call. Look, if you pick your head up and you see hundreds of missiles flying about to hit the earth, that's a close call. And you know what I mean? You're gonna look at it, but you're gonna be hoping and praying the Lord beams you up. Trust me, you're gonna want nothing more in all of your existence. You're gonna want nothing more in that time than to get delivered. Verse 20: in famine he shall redeem thee from death. So how do you redeem somebody from death during a famine? You got to feed them. It says, and in war, from the power of the sword. So bullets, missiles, whatever chaos is out here, the Lord he's going to redeem us from it. Whether by spiritual power or by, whatever it is going to be some great form of divine intervention, even before Yahushua makes his appearance. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh, because we're going to be assured that the Lord is with us. And if we are assured that the Lord is with us, then we know that he's going to deliver us. Verse 22, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So why are we going to laugh at destruction and famine? Because we're going to know that we got the Lord with us, and that destruction and famine has no power over us. It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So whether newly created or wild, terrifying looking beasts that are actually destroying people over here, we're not going to be afraid, because the Lord is going to make them, verse 23, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. See? So we're not going to be afraid, because the Lord is going to make them at peace with us. Lions, bears, whatever creatures out here. Verse 24, and thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. Because ultimately, we're going to end up in a position where we're not going to sin. We're going to be perfect, and we're going to be in peace. And that's going to be a good story. When you watch a movie or a TV show or a story, of course you like the drama, you like the action. This happens, then this happens, then there's a time. People would rather watch a movie that is taking place in a time of war than a movie that is taking place in a time of peace, where you just watch. What do you watch? The main character live his regular life. He goes to work. He does what he's supposed to do. He comes home. He has a happy wife. He has kids. He's enjoying life. He goes out. He comes home. Who's going to sit there and watch that? What you want to watch is, he goes out and then boom, there's this explosion and he's trying to reach his wife, but nobody's picking up, so he's like, he's trying to make it home and find his family, and all hell's breaking loose, and he got to jump over this and fight this guy, and he gets kidnapped and he got to fight them off. That's what people want to see. That thriller, the edge, what do they call that? You sit on the edge of your seat, you look, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? Well, let me tell you something. That's all fun and games when you're watching it, but that's not fun and games when you live in it. In real life, you want to live that story that you don't want to watch on TV. In real life, you want to be able to come home and be at peace and enjoy your children and be able to just go out and just have a nice, happy life. That's what you want in real life. Okay? In real life, trust me, you don't want to be running for your life. When you're watching a movie and you see somebody running and they're weaving and they stop and they're breathing heavy, because they're tired. But you don't feel tired when you watch the movie. You just see them tired. When you got to run for your life, trust me, you're going to feel tired. Your heart is going to be hurting. Your mouth is going to be dry. You feel like you're going to die. That's not a good feeling. It's fun to watch, but it's not fun to live. So in the kingdom, we're not going to have to live that fight for your life and do this and do it. No, we're going to be at peace, and we're going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy life. We're not just going to be surviving. We're going to actually be living. The best life there is to live is the life we're going to live, and we're going to live it for all eternity. All right? And that's the end of that. So it's okay, man. Whatever this psychotic devil thinks that he's going to do, we know that he ain't going to succeed. He's only going to go but so far. All right? So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, wait, Shalak. The water I have a calendar of the moon cycles, but it was confusing because they fell back to back. Yeah, Khan. Sometimes it does happen that way where you would have the regular Sabbath, like the last week of it, and then the new moon Sabbath falls like the next, literally like at the ending of the regular Sabbath starts the new moon Sabbath. Sometimes it comes in that way, but you just follow it the same way. It's still a Sabbath anyway, right? So, Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.